What's happening, my friends? Welcome back into the studio. It's been a while since I've seen you. I hope everyone out there in the world is doing okay. Things are a bit chaotic right now. So I feel you if you're not. I do. I wanted to pop in. I'm about to get started in the studio today, and I wanted to do a quick, off the cuff, unscripted state of the channel update for you because it's been about 5 months since since I posted a video, and I can't believe it's gone by that fast. But I can pretty much map out what happened. So my birthday's in early February, so when New Year's comes around and everyone starts making resolutions, usually I kind of fall into this. I'm not going to bother making a resolution now when my birthday's coming up. I'll just say, oh, my 38th year is going to be my good year, and I'm going to do this. So I tend to do my worst month with all my worst habits in January. Then February, I spend recovering out of that. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. So I really didn't get a lot done the first 2 months of the year. You might have seen, though, that in March, I posted a new song. It's called The Grand Awum. It's the first song that I had professionally mastered. It's the first song that I had artwork professionally done on. I used services from the website Fiverr. I used a dude named Camilo Silva. He's a Grammy Award-winning mastering engineer. And then Azel, she's from Azerbaijan, I think is how you say it, from Turkey. I found her on Fiverr. She had a great artistic style that I really liked, and I challenged the heck out of her with the vision I had for the Grand Awum of the plane. She got it done. She did a bang-up job, and it looks awesome. The song sounds great. Probably my least EDM-ish song, even though it is at 168 BPM, which is like the favorite for drum and bass, I'm told, right around there. The mix just didn't really lend itself to that. And I intend to do a deeper review coming soon. I'm going to try to re-jumpstart the channel with some better quality content. It basically, what happened as I was recording the Grand Awum, because I made probably 5 or 6 videos and just never posted them because I was just like feeling insecure and was going through a period of low self-esteem. And I hated myself and everything I was working on every time I made a video. So I never really posted anything. And then the other big thing that kept happening, and this was happening on Snake Hands too, these songs were built from one stem that I wrote years ago. And I allowed myself to abandon any other ideas that I had over that time and just build around that freely. And what kept happening is I'd come up with a part, I'd record myself playing it, I'd make a video for you guys, and then like the next day before I could get to editing the video, I would change the part, which kind of made everything I recorded and talked about obsolete. And that kept happening. So it kind of made me realize that the format of showing you what's happening in real time takes twice as long if I'm sitting here trying to document a process that's not going to be the final version and what I would want you to take away ultimately. When I set out, originally, the goal of the channel was to just struggle on camera in front of you to try to make stuff happen. I did that for a full year. I kind of fumbled my way through videos and fumbled my way through the songwriting and the production until it got there. And now I feel like what needs to happen is maybe I come back and after the song is done, I do these updates so that when I do record a guitar part or I record me playing piano, I'm playing like the final version of the song. I think that's what I'm going to be doing going forward. I want to do that with the Grand Awum. I want to show you kind of the insides of the track and all the decisions that I made on production because I did a lot of new things. I in a way, I simplified my process on each channel strip by limiting myself to certain plugins. But I also freed myself up to, if I wanted distortion on a snare drum, I did it. You know, if I wanted the snare drum to sound different for 16 bars or something, I did it. One of the things I've been stuck on has been this set of rules for my songs for governing the decision making as I put together these arrangements. And those rules were to think about the hypothetical band that I envisioned playing this music and to make sure that as I create each song, each band member would have a part to play so that if I ever do go out and try to find musicians to come and play these songs with me live for you, no one's standing around not doing something, or we're not having to rewrite parts for old songs that might change the way you perceive them if you ever get to hear them live. So I was really strict in that sense that I wanted the music to sound uniform from track to track in terms of the instrumentation, and in terms of how many roles were perceived to be communicated through music. How many guitar parts are there? What's the trumpet player doing? How many synth parts are there compared to keyboard parts? Is it possible to play all these parts together, these layers and stuff? With the Grand Ole Womb, the way that it turned out, the song, just by the end, I tried to have Camilo, the mastering engineer, send me a bassier, thumpier mix. I was listening to Sabrina Carpenter all the time the past couple months, and I sent him. He goes, "Well, what's your reference track?" And I was like, "I don't know. I wish it sounded like Espresso, but I know it's not going to, because it's not. There's nothing similar between the songs. I know it's not going to, but." In the end, the mix was probably the most rockish mix, but I would say it was the most complex arrangement and production I've done. There's a lot going on in the Grand Ole Womb, so I hope you'll give it a few listens and really pick it apart, because I'm pretty proud of that song. The other thing that was new on the Grand Ole Womb is it's the first time I've paid for playlist placement. It is not allowed by DistroKid, who I use, to do any pay-for-play services, so you can't use Boost Collective and pay them money to go prop up your Spotify algorithm with plays. That's not what I was going for. It's not what I want. What I did was use the site called Submit Hub, and I just did some Redditing and stuff to find what the best options are for getting playlist plugs and stuff, and everyone had some good things to say about Submit Hub. So I spent about $100. I probably sent the Grand Ole Womb to 20 different playlist curators around the world. I got denied by every single one. That was hard. Let me just say that it was hard. It was not hard the first one. It wasn't hard the second one. It wasn't hard the third one. But as the other 17, 18 came in, man, it just got to the point where I'd see the email and I would just delete it instantly because I just couldn't read it. Even though the fortunate part of all this, the feedback was really pretty nice from all these curators. Several people were like, "Man, this is a really unique and interesting song. It just doesn't fit on any playlist that I curate." And that was the ultimate feedback that I got. Was very promising first release. To them, it was my first release. Obviously, it's my 6th song, but if you want it to make an EDM playlist, it has to be more dancey. It has to be this. It has to be that. The instruments sound too analog when people don't want to hear that. So I got into about a week-long funk, and I didn't allow myself to let it go on too long, because I just went, you know what? Nothing bad happened other than not getting plays. Nothing bad happened. And if anything, my self-esteem should be boosted by the feedback that I got from these curators. When I sent the track to Camilo, he said, technically, there's nothing wrong with the production. It's spot on. Everything's sound. You can hear everything. Everything is clear. The production was great. The arrangement was unique. The song was this. It just wasn't mainstream enough, which is fine. So after the Grand Ole Womb, I was about to start working on another one of what I would say is my top 3 prospects for songs. And that song's called Temptress. And you'll hear it eventually. It's going to be a killer song. The problem is I sensed that it was going to end up about in the same direction as maybe Rumination and Stoneburner. It was conceived around the same time as those songs. And so I was a little afraid that I would find myself, based on my preconceived notions of how the drums should evolve through the song and how things should kind of build and ebb and flow. I was like, I feel like I'm going to end up making a perfectly viable Creatures of the Edge song, but maybe not the viable song that I need to help me break through the algorithm and get this music out into the world and get discovered. So I came into the studio about 2.5 weeks ago. I found a funk drum loop on YouTube, 100 beats per minute. I just put it on, and the reason that I did that was because I wanted to force myself to try to write just something new from scratch to a beat that I knew I could dance to already. That song has rapidly turned into what is going to be my 7th release, and that's what I'm in the studio to work on today, and hopefully get pretty darn close to finishing. And that song is going to be called Wolves' Eve. Wolves' Eve is a reference to the 5th book of the Dark Tower series, Stephen King. It's the night before the wolves come and steal the children from the Kala. I have artwork done by Azel. She's already done it. It looks stellar. It looks amazing. Very in line with the Grandal Womb stylistically, but a much darker track and much dancier track. A true dubstep drop right in the middle of the song. So that's what's coming up next. Serum 2 came out. I love Serum. I really haven't been focused on Serum. This was one of those weird rules for me that I was doing on the first 6 songs. I use Serum for like my risers and stuff in a few synth sounds, but I was envisioning myself with like a synth player in the band who had a dedicated synthesizer. So I was using the Native Instruments Mini Moog, the Monarch. And I was like, this is your synth because that's the synth that you're going to have in the band, or you're going to have one synthesizer. You're not going to have Serum on stage with you. So I wasn't using Serum. But then Serum 2 came out. And I found myself wanting to make this dancier song. I saw an opportunity for kind of the next phase of the channel. And so what you're going to see, starting with Wolves Eve, no more Monarch, because I'm just going to use Serum 2. And I'm going to post every Serum 2 patch that I make. I'm going to do a thing because Serum 2 is going to be viral for years. People are going to be looking for patches for years. And I'm not necessarily trying to sell anyone patches, but I'm going to be one of those people that shows how I work in Serum. And I'm going to, throw some patches together and then detail, with a quick video on how they were put together, which will hopefully show people the possibilities within Serum that they might consider trying. I won't touch all the possibilities. I'm not trying to be like a Serum master tutorial guy, but I do think it's a good way to drive traffic to the channel is to have that Serum bass, in the title of the song, because my best received videos have been where I said, oh, I'm using this plugin in the title, or, oh, we're working on this virtual instrument in the title. Check out my new drum set. It's a Mapex Armory. So that when you search Mapex, you start getting it. So it's going to be the same thing with these videos. Is once I have Serum in the name of the song, I'm going to start to show up more on the algorithm and hopefully provide you with some content that is just a little more useful to you and a little less meandering and a little better for me as an aspiring content creator. So that's where we're at. I'm still making music. I'm still stoked. I'm things are going really well right now in terms of music. I'm feeling very confident about the next song and about the possibilities of advertising this song and having it catch on, because I think the dubstep drop that you'll hear on Wolves Eve, someone said, oh, this sounds like Grizz. My buddy said that to me. I'm not copying Grizz. It's not like that or anything, but it has that vibe, But I also, if you've spent any time with me, you know that I'm not going to be the type of person who's just going to press the same key and wah, 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 wah. It's not going to happen. My bass lines are going to continue to be musical, and I'm going to make these basses fit and give you that sense that you're it's 11:30 at night and you're full on in rave mode at the festival. But I also want to bring that song back to Creatures of the Edge, and so that's the way that my music is supposed to work. Embedded in these songs, which are not EDM songs inherently as a whole piece, embedded in them are 8 and 16 bar sections that I believe could be very useful and unique to DJs around the world, because I'm writing at the tempos that they like to use. And I'm offering them new patterns and sounds that you're not hearing in every dubstep set. And so that's my goal. So I think I'll just stop there. That seems like I've taken up a good bit of your time, 18 minutes or so. Just stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. You're going to miss all the stuff that I start posting if you're not subscribed. So please do that, and keep an eye out for a recap of the Grandal Womb. I'm not sure if it'll be long form or a series yet. And then also keep an eye out for the release of Wolves Eve coming soon. Probably my goal is to get pretty darn close to finishing it tonight. And it would be my fastest song if I was able to do it, because I just started the song from scratch 3 weeks ago. It's brand new. There's no old stems in it. I just want it to be free and show myself that when I run out of this old catalog of stuff, that I'm still going to be able to produce. That was kind of this internal looming fear, was that if I finish my 9 or 10 old ideas that I've been brainstorming for 15 years, I won't be able to write anything else. Well, that's null and void, because Wolves Eve may be my best song yet. So thanks for checking out the channel today, guys. I hope you're all doing well. If you're one of those people who feels a little distraught about what's happening in the country, I can't encourage you enough to make a sign and hit the streets on May 1st. That's going to be the next big protest day, May Day, May 1st, all around the country. Please find it and get out there. We're better than this, guys. We're Americans. We look forward. We lead. We don't go backwards. We don't pull people down. We lift people up here. It's breaking my heart. And the world that my kids are going to grow up in, it's been really tough on me. So that's about it. Get out there and protest and bump some Creatures of the Edge while I finish Wolves Eve. And I promise you I'm going to have a banger for you real soon.